He's a tricky one to introduce because he's that talented and that charming and that lovely. This man, Fred again. Crazy.
You know, when I first worked with Fred, I could see he was brilliant. It's very clear he's a very, very sensitive and good artist. And I was very impressed by that. But I didn't really understand a lot of what he was doing.
It's all about relationships. Your songs are predominantly named after the people you work with or people who inspire them.
Yeah. The feeling that I became really obsessed with was like trying to take the like very fleeting moments and like trying to like expose as much beauty as is in them.
He's already won the Brits Producer of the Year and spent the past few years with UK music royalty and American music legends. When you're one of Brian Eno and Ed Sheeran's favorite collaborators, you can count on the trajectory of this still young career.
Well, and he's like easily one of the most talented musicians on the planet.
Yeah, so it's a Tuesday at 10 p.m. and this is one of the best days of my life. Drones,
Always. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Listen to the way those notes merge together. It's so beautiful.
Bit of that. And I love it. Like, I play these like around my house for hours and hours every day because it just like shapes your experience. But then so like if you have the original poem, like
It's
Dirty water, regardless, as invincible as canned food in 2x4s. I found you exploding, brimstone on your lips, tattooed with the fury as warm as the sun used to be. I found you beautiful.
and then you can start like tuning him so he goes like,
I found you beautiful. I found you exploding. I found you. I want you to sing this forever. I found you. I found you. You. Beautiful. Exploding.
I noticed was where he was taking his sonic material from. He's often recording on his phone, and he's often recording in quite noisy places. And he doesn't clean everything off. So you get, in every piece of recording, there's a sort of context comes with it as well. The sound has a history built into it.
I feel there's a parallel in the way that you are moving creatively. It's just coming from different influences and different places. You know, I mean, his ambient works to me is a kind of a version, his version of like an actual life experience. Like, you know, music for airports, things like that.
yeah, and also My Life in the Bush of Ghosts. Like when I first played Brian this stuff, I was like, Brian, I've got this amazing new idea. Like, I really think there's something that triggers this feeling in me. It feels so new, like sampling like the real actual world. And then I was like, oh yeah, Brian did this with David Byrne in the 80s. Like, and that's exactly what he did.
It took me quite a while to think, oh my gosh, this is really a new idea about how you can make music. So I learned a lot from him. I have to say, and this is not modesty or false flattery or anything like that, I think of Fred as my mentor as well, in that I learned so much about contemporary music from watching him working.
It's like it's a diary to me, and so although I'm trying to slow-mo certain moments, it's like, that was always a very important part of it.
Well, there you go. It makes me wonder, like, how much of it is for you, how much of it is for us, if for us at all.
Yeah. No, I think it started off for me, and then I've been enormously changed by the like all the messages I've read and seeing people at shows and the way people have kind of let the music in.
Was there music that helped you in the last 12 months that wasn't your own? Or was it hard to listen to music when you're grieving? Like, what was your relationship with music?
I know we spoke about Fred actually, but Fred's actual life one is about his grief, and I found that incredibly helpful. You know, listening to a song like Me Heavy or whatever. You know, I found that whole record. I Found You. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know the whole world is falling in love with Fred, but
Because of that, by the way.
Yeah.
Because of the truth in his music.
I'm so tired of being strong.
he's so good at finding like lines, and that line is just repeats and repeats and repeats, and it just gets in you. As that song, I've been lost for a while, but I'm really trying, you know, and that just repeats. And yeah, I found myself getting super emotional at his show. I know everyone else does. Yeah.
What I noticed with Fred is that he would start something and he wouldn't turn it into a loop that was going to run through the whole track. He'd just have it running for a tiny little bit, and then he'd put something else there, and then suddenly there would be a big hole and there would be a disruption. They're very non-linear, his pieces. They don't have the same kind of homogeneity that you would normally get from, for instance, loop-based music.
I found you exploding. I found you beautiful. I don't know a thing that could feel more heavy. Babe, I'm ready.
What I love about Fred, I was saying this earlier, is like, we wrote I Don't Care together, we wrote Beautiful People together, and we wrote Bad Habits together, and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like no one knows the joy that he gets in making pop.
He's a pop guy.
Yeah.
He's a pop guy.
Because he's so good at the other thing, but yeah.
Late nights, sitting alone, conversations with a stranger I barely know, swearing this will be the last, but it probably won't. I got nothing left to lose or use or do my bad habits.
Learning, like from Fred, like a lot about songwriting, seeing him just think so much in terms of the song always, and be like, well, what's the actual emotional idea here, and what's the song at the heart of it all? Like,
if you're saying there's similarities, I'm very honored. I think Fred again's incredible, and I love his approach to making music. And yeah, I definitely agree with, every time I see him talk, I agree. To your point about collecting sounds, I feel like for a long time I was like the sound effect guy. You know, a match lighting or a sound of fireworks or rain or something like that, or a crosswalk. And I feel like to me now the most interesting thing is like little samples of human interaction.
Wow.
And so that's exactly what Fred's doing. So in that sense, I'm just trying to be as cool as him.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were hunting down some of the guys on the album that helped us out in making this album, and we started to work with this guy called Fred Again, that actually Steve sent me a song like a year ago or something, 2 years, I don't remember. But I was like, who is this guy? This is amazing. Like, he makes music on the streets and like recording people. I'm like, wow, this is so...
Yeah, he produces Ed Sheeran, bro. I think people know.
Yeah. But I knew about Fred, but I didn't know that Fred and Fred Again. It's so genius that how he played that thing. He took a plane to Sweden and we spent 3 days with him in the studio, and it was really, really inspirational. It's like, okay guys, I'm not sure if you're gonna be stressed out about this, but I have a timer, so I make a song in 35 minutes. So it needs to be finished, recorded, and bounced.
Which one of you was most excited by that?
I mean, I guess it was me, because
Which one of you was most terrified by that?
I think it
it was fun. Everybody just connected, like we were playing so loud.
and like banging it out, and like we made some really incredible
Yeah, we
stuff.
made like 6 songs in 2 days. And seriously, like one made the album, obviously. One of the last was called Calling On.
Love that.
And then one is coming out for him. He's making a...
It's sick.
Yeah, that one is crazy, actually. Made some interesting music because, you know, we kind of like, he comes from his thing and we come from our thing, but we kind of met in this island that we created, and this type of songs doesn't sound like any of us.
Like
but
when you...
Make some noise for the Swedish house mafia, my brother. Please. Make some noise for Carnegie.